In this lesson, we shall focus on the June examination, a past examination that was written in 2019 for grade 10s. It was written out of 50 marks and it was 1 hour long. And we're going to start by looking at mathematics paper 1, which was a provincial examination written in June 2019. But we also will proceed to see how the second paper was set. Also, if time will allow us to do so. Okay, we proceed. Right, in the first question of the exam in 2019, they expected the students to be able to simplify the following expressions. Right, given 5x plus 1 in parentheses times 2x squared minus 3x minus 1 in parentheses. What should be done here, and how can one be in a position to simplify these? We focus on what needs to be done. Okay, so first things first, we then realize that this equals, right? So we actually continue to multiply. So multiply 5x times 2x squared. What is 5x times 2x squared? It's actually 10x cubed. We multiply 5x times minus 3. Negative 15 x squared. We multiply 5x times minus 1, getting negative 5x. We proceed. We're not done yet. To multiply 1 with 2x squared, getting exactly 2x squared. Moreover, we multiply 1 with minus 3x, and we get a minus 3x. Minus 3x. We multiply 1 with negative 1, and we have a minus 1 over there. Okay, good. We proceed now. What do we do next, Paul? What do we do? Your idea.
You collect the like.
We collect the like terms. Thank you so much. We collect the like terms. And therefore, what are the like terms that we need to collect here first?
Negative 15x squared plus 2x squared minus
And what?
5x minus 3x minus 1.
Okay, good. Minus 15x squared plus 2x squared minus 5x minus 3x minus 1. We've collected the like terms because we have the two terms. This is called the cubic term. It's called the cubic term. And these ones here that have the squares, what do we call them? We call them quadratic. Quadratic terms, like so. Okay, from which you obtain 10x squared. Okay, what is minus 15x squared plus 2x squared? What do we get there? What is the answer? Minus 15x squared.
16 plus squared, negative 121.
Good, okay. So we get this,
Squared.
right?
21.
Is it 21? Okay, check again. Check again.
Negative 221.
Okay, check again. We're saying minus 15x squared. Minus 15x squared plus 2x squared. What do we get?
Negative 221.
Are you multiplying or are you adding them up?
Yeah, the adder.
Is that the adder, right?
Yes.
Okay, yes. So what is minus 15x squared plus 2x squared? What is minus 15 plus 2?
Plus 2 is 100. I leave plus 2 without squared. 623. And
Okay,
then I minus 15 squared plus 2 squared. About 200, negative 221.
okay, use your calculator as follows. Right, what is minus 15 plus 2 on your calculator? Please do this on your calculator. Minus 15 plus 2.
Negative
What?
13.
Negative 13. So minus 15x squared plus 2x squared will therefore give us, so we first deal with minus 15 plus 2. Minus 15 plus 2 is minus 13. And then these have x squared. So we bring down the x squared. What is minus 5x minus 3x? Minus 5x minus 3x, what do we get?
-8.
Negative 8x. Very well done.
Yeah.
That's 1. What else do we do here? What else can we do at this point?
And then
Yeah. Okay, we're done. We're done.
okay.
I was just teasing you because there are no like terms anymore, right? There are no like terms anymore. We collected the like terms. We added the like terms to each other. And therefore, there's nothing we can do. There's nothing we can add anymore. There's nothing you can subtract. There's nothing you can multiply. And we are done. Absolutely done. Okay. Yeah, because I'm going to engage you because you're the only one in this class. So yeah, I'm going to engage you. The next question is 1.1.2. Right, if you have 9 to the power x plus 1, so we have 9 to the power x plus 1. We multiply by 5 to the power x plus 2. We divide by 45 to the power x plus 1. What do we do first here, Paul? What do you think? I'm trying to engage you. Yeah?
9 to the
Yes.
power of x times
9 to the power of x times 9 to the power of 1.
times 9 to the power of 1. And then bracket times 5 to the power of x, 5 to the power of 2.
Well done. Thank you so much, Paul. Very, very well done. Next, what do we do? At the bottom, there's 45. 45 to the power x plus 1. What do we do with that one?
45 to the power of x times 45 to the power
45 to the power of x times 45 to the power of 1. Okay, next. Now we are here and we need to continue to simplify this. So let us proceed to perform the simplification. Let's see how best we can do this one over here. Right, so what do we do next? Right, so this 9 here can be written as 3 to the power what?
3 to the power of 3 to the power of 2. Yeah,
3 to the power of 2, but there's an x there, right? Okay, we're good. And then now this 9 we can write like that. The 5 we can write like that. The 5 squared, we can still write it in the same way. In the denominator, we have 45 to the power of x. How can you write this one? So now 45 is the same as 9 times 5. That is 45. 45 is the same as 9 times 5, all to the power of x, times 45. Like so. Giving us 3 to the power of 2x, times 9, times 5 to the power of x, times 5 squared, all over. Now, this 9 is the same as 3 to the power of 2, but there's an x. There's also 5 to the power of x, but we also have a 45, like so. Upon careful examination, this 3 to the power of 2x cancels this 3 to the power of 2x. 5 to the power of x cancels 5 to the power of x. And this gives us the following. Right, it gives us 9 times. What is 5 squared? What is 5 to the power of 2?
25.
25. Very well done. Right, and then we have 45. We need to simplify this. What is the answer if we deal with this now? What is the answer if we deal?
9 times 25.
Yes, 9 times 25, which is equal to what?
125 over 45.
Okay, good, good, good. And very, very well done. So we have exactly that one. Right, so we continue there with Mpho. We are learning mathematics, but we're preparing for the junior examination. The junior exam is here, and we want to make sure we pass. So we have 9 times 25, and obviously it is exactly 225 out of 45. What is 225 divided by 45, Paul?
5.
55. Well done. It's exactly 5. Thank you so much. So this means that the answer to this one here is exactly 5. And we have solved 1.1.2. And now, what did we do to solve 1.1.2? We first looked at the fact that we're dealing with the section. What do we call this chapter that has these things? What do you call this chapter? Is the chapter on what? It's a chapter on exponents. Right, so it's when we're dealing with exponents or we're dealing with what we call indices. Okay, right. So we took this question down, which was 9 to the power of x plus 1 times 5 to the power of x plus 2, all divided by 45 to the power of x plus 1. Now, the 9 to the power of x plus 1 is 9 to the power of x, 9 to the power of 1. The 5 to the power of x plus 2 is 5 to the power of x and 5 to the power of 2. And then the 45, we broke it down. And then now we're able to see that. Any question? Any question, Paul? Is there anything you'd suggest? Maybe we need to put a 2 somewhere. You need to remove a 3. There's something we need to do. What is your take? And what next can we do now? Because we got the answer is 5 and it looks as if we are done. Right. So any suggestion? Okay, good. You're right. Let's move to the next one. Thank you so much. Right, at this point, the next question is factorize fully. So we need to learn how to factorize. This was set in 2019, and the kids were given, the grade 10s were given 2x squared plus 3x minus 5. How is one supposed to factorize this? This is called a trinomial. What is a trinomial expression? What is a trinomial expression? Do you remember that one, Paul? What is a trinomial? What is a binomial? What is a binomial? A binomial means that there are 2 terms. Bi means 2. Bi means 2. So we have 2 terms like A plus B. Trinomial means there are 3 terms, 1, 2, 3. And it's a trinomial. And this has nothing to do with what you call the degree of each term. Because if you look at the 2x squared has degree 2. The 2 is called the degree or the power of the x. Okay, good. We are in business. So now, Paul, how do we factorize this one? Because we need to factorize fully. We need to make sure that we leave no stone unturned, but we factorize everything, everything. So what do we do here, Paul? What is your first step?
Sorry, 2 open brackets and then x.
2 open brackets. Good. Yes. Okay, good. I know that this obviously the teachers teach you that. But the best is to take the 2x squared and multiply by minus 5. What is 2 times minus 5? So you take 2x squared on the side and we multiply by minus 5. Okay, I'm teaching another technique.
2 times 5 is 10.
Yes. So now, the teachers sometimes do not teach this technique, but it's the best one. So you take the 2x squared, you multiply by minus 5. So if you take 2x squared, you multiply by minus 5, what do you get? You get minus 10x squared. Like so. And then now you must find the factors, because 2 times minus 5 gives us minus 10. Okay. If it gives us minus 10, then we think about what we need to do next. But what we need to do next is to find the factors of minus 10, which when added together, there are 2 numbers. When you multiply, they give you minus 10, but when you add them, you get plus 3. What are those 2 numbers? What are those 2 numbers? When you multiply them, you get minus 5x squared. But when you add them up, you get 3. Okay, so those numbers are exactly 5. 5 together with minus 2. Because 5 minus 2 gives us 3. Okay. But 5 times minus 2, they give us minus 10. Because they give, if you say 5 minus 2, you get 3. We are done. So the next step is I'm going to spend time on these. I'm going to give you lots of examples so that you can understand this technique we use here. So like now you take the 5x, this 5x, you put it here. And then you have this one here, you put it here. And then this one, you put it here. So you factor out x, the highest common factor out of these. The highest common factor, which is x. And we have 2x plus 5. This is what they're teaching the grade 9s now, because the curriculum has been so messed up, but so messed up that many kids did not learn factorization of trinomials very well, but for many years in this country. The grade 9s are now taught these, but properly as I'm doing. The next thing is we take out the highest common factor. But the common factor, there's a negative, there is a negative, we pull it out, we factor it out. And then if you factor out the negative, we're left with 2x and a 5. And then now the next thing is what the grade 9s are being taught, because you guys went through grade 9 and the teachers might have not taught you this. You cross this out because it's common. You cross everything that's common. And then this thing that is common, you put it outside like this, which is 2x plus 5 in parentheses, or in brackets. And then, because you cross this out, then you're left with x and you're left with minus 1, like this. And these are the factors. These are the factors. But the teacher might have not taught you this, like this. And then now, the problem because you could guess the factors and say, okay, there are 2x and x, and then, but now the issue is sometimes it's not very easy. You're not going to know whether to put the 5 here or the 5 there. Okay, you can guess the factors of 2x squared and say they're 2x and x. But the factors of 5 are 5 and 1. But you can put either the 5 here, the 1 there. Or you can put the 1 here, the 5 there. Or you can put 2x here and the x there. Or you can put x here and the 2x there. And you see, it becomes tricky. Now, sometimes the time runs out in the exam. You're not even done with the factorization of these things here. And now you can even lose marks. I'm here to spend time on problems like this so that you can learn factorization. The next question is 1.2.2. Any question on this? Is anything you don't understand? What would you like to add? What would you like us to remove from this? Any question? Any question? No question. Or you have not seen this before, right, Mpo?
More 2x plus 5, no?
Please
Kana
come.
like ngola more 2x plus 5.
Uh-huh.
Kana like ngola 2x plus 5 go right hand side and then x minus 1 go left hand
Okay,
side.
yes. It's still very acceptable. You can write it like that. So we can write x minus 1 pili, and then we can write 2x plus 5 afterwards. And we can write it like this, and it is very, very acceptable. And these answers are both correct. Okay. They're both correct. Right. So any question, Paul, anything to add? Because I need to make sure you understand these things, because I'm going to give you tests.
Like ke master current. O ka se kgone go solve the way question is starting like 2x to the power of 2 plus the x minus 4. And then o thole like o ngole ka 2 open brackets and then o re x.
Okay,
Right.
so we can write brackets like these, right?
Yeah, o ngole go
Uh-huh.
brackets and then o re x go brackets and 2 and then
What do we write here? What do we write here? What we write here? X or 2x here?
x, x.
Only x.
Yeah, and then o ngola 3. It's about 2.
Take your time. Don't rush. Don't rush. Take your time, because you're the only one. We're not running away. We're not running away.
Yeah, ungole plus 1 mo practicing out ka.
Plus 1, right?
And then ure x minus 3.
X minus 3.
Yeah, okay, ngola so.
Okay, that's a good question. So now, remember, if we multiply this x and that x, we must get this one. So if you multiply x,
More before the bracket, ungole 2.
we wanted 2 more.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good point you're raising. Right,
And then
so,
times x, and then 2 times 1 is 2.
2 times 1 is 2, okay. So 2 times x is 2x plus 2, and then you have x minus 3. Okay, we multiply 2x and x, we get 2x squared, right? And then if we multiply 2 and minus 3, what do we get? We must get 5. We must get minus 5.
Yeah.
But if you multiply 2 and minus 3, what do we get?
C negative 6. And negative 5.
Yes, and about a negative 5, right? You see, about a negative 5.
Mara, if the number is different, you can have another like 4.
I want to so if ever numbers are different, you know.
Or if somebody x squared plus 3x minus 5.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay. So think about these things in Paul because we're learning and want to be the best we can be. Okay, so this is all mathematics and we are moving forward. We are moving forward and we have agreed that the correct answers are those two there. Let's move to the next thing. Right, the next question is the following. It is 1.2.2, and 1.2.2 is we need to factorize fully given this one. So we've been given negative 3, open parenthesis, minus 3, x to the 4th power, y to the power 2. And then there is a negative, open bracket, negative 3x squared, y squared cubed plus 12x squared minus 12y to the 4th power, like so. So now, if this is the case, what do we do here, Paul? Because now we need to factorize this one. And it is so big, and it has like lots of x to the power 4, there's a y, there's a square, there's a cube. What do we do here? What do we do here?
Simplify it before you factorize it. Or negative 3 open bracket 3 x to the power of 4y with bracket, and then it will have 3x to the power of 4y. It would go bracket, and then minus negative 3x squared to the power of 2 plus bracket. It will be happy over 3x squared y to the power of 3 plus bracket. It will happen over negative 3x squared minus 2. And then it's minus, 3x squared y squared plus bracket, and then go plus 12x squared minus 12y 4, and then we simplify it remain negative 3 times 4.
Okay, Aritom, let's start again. So now, to start off with, what do you think we need to do here? So you believe that we need to have negative 3 And then
open bracket,
open bracket.
3, negative 3 to the power of y, to the power of
Negative,
4, y.
okay. Maybe like so. So because everything is to the power of 2 here, we can say minus 3 to the power of 2, x to the power of 4, all to the power of 2, y also squared. Then minus.
And then, yeah, and then b negative. We want to execute that
a. So there's a minus 3 here, but everything here is in brackets cubed. So we must write therefore minus 3, you cube it like this. And then we have x squared, you also cube. And then you have y squared, you also what? You also cube. Plus 12x squared minus 12y to the what? To the 4th power. Okay, so we continue.
And then it's
So,
only
then
negative 3 to the power of 2, 3 negative 9.
Okay, yeah, okay, negative 3 to the power of 2, because what is negative times negative? Positive. So if you say negative, if you square it, it becomes a positive, and then 3 squared is like 3 times 3, which becomes a 9. So if you square the negative, it becomes a positive. Okay. What is 4 times 2?
8.
K8.
8, yeah.
Yes, K8. Good. Thank you so much. Because we multiply them because they are powers, both of them. Okay. So the 4 is the power and the 2 is the power. So we multiply them. Now we put minus here. What is minus 3 cubed? So if you cube a negative, what do you think?
27.
27 negative. So it's negative 27. Well done. Okay, here this one is x squared cubed. So now we have 2 times 3. What is 2 times 3? Right, and then this one is 2 times 3, which is also a 6. Plus 12x squared minus 12y to the 4th power. What is minus 3 times 9? Minus 3 times 9 is equal to what?
27.
It's negative 27. Then there's x to the 8th power, y squared. Now what's negative times negative here? Positive 27. X to the 6th power, y to the 6th power, plus 12 x squared minus 12 y to the 4th power. So what do we do at this point?
And then
what do we do at this point? So there is a So we can take out a common factor, a common factor out of all these things. Right, so there's a common factor out of all these things. What is the common factor out of all these things? What is the common factor out of everything here? 3. Well done. Well done there. So, because obviously we are aware that there is a negative in front here, so we're going to pull out negative 3, like this. And then now, after I put out negative 3, then you're going to be left with what? If you divide minus 27 by negative 3, what do you get? You get a 9. You have 9. Right. And then when you have 9, we have 9 x to the 8th power y squared.
Are we only as negative 9?
As negative 9. Yes, we can write it as negative 9, but we've already factored out the negative. So if you factor out the negative, then Mocha got the brackets, we're gonna be left with a positive because the negative is already outside, you know, because here's the negative and we pull it out. And then here we take 27, we divide by -3, and that is going to become
Nine.
-9.
9.
Okay. 9. And then there's x to the 6th power, y to the 6th power. We'll just bring this one like that. And then now we're gonna also, we're factoring out the -3 from 12. So it's like dividing 12 plus 12 by -3. What is 12 divided by -3?
-4.
Is -4x squared. So if you have the -12, you divide it by -3, what do you get? You get a
4.
plus 4 y to the 4th power, like so. And then, what do we get out of these now? What do we get out of these? So we're going to pull out the highest common factor. Going to pull out the highest common factor out of all these. Uh-huh.
I see xy.
Yes.
And then it's over.
Yes. So now there's an XY. Well done there. Thank you so much, Mpo. So now at this point, we're able to see that there's still a 9 here out of these first two. Out of the first two, there is a 9. So you can pull out the 9. But not only 9, there's also x to the power 6 because it's x to the power 8. So you're going to pull out x to the power 6 because 6 is smaller than 8. And then there's y squared and y to the power 6. We're going to pull out y squared because 2 is smaller than 6. And so when we do this, out of 8, we pull out 6. You are left with 2. Okay, and then now you're going to have here, y squared has already been pulled out. So I'm left with the 2 here. And then the 9 has been pulled out. X to the power 6 has been factorized. And then now out of y to the power 6, you pull out y squared. So you pull out 2. So 6 minus 2 is going to give us a 4. Like so. And this is what we have. And then let's see what we got next. Right at this point, we factor out a -4 here, which is x squared minus y to the 4th power, like this. X squared minus y to the 4th power. Okay, we have these. So what do we do right now at this point moving forward? So we need to look at this and think, but think extra carefully and see what next can be done out of these here and reason very, very carefully. So we need to think about what we need to do. There is still another common factor, and the common factor, you see, this was a big question. There is this one and this one. Okay. Uh-huh. Rieta Juan, what can we do now, Paul? What do you think?
X squared minus y to the power of 4. I can tell you x squared minus y to the power of 4.
Yeah, it's like that one. Is this one the same as this one? We in brackets. Are they the same? These things in brackets, are they the same?
Yeah.
Okay, good, good. They are the same. So because they're the same now, we can pull them out. Right, and if we do so, you pull them out. So you're going to come here and pull them out. And if we do that, we're going to pull those out. So we're going to pull out. So, but now we have a couple of things that obviously we need to take into account. But there is a -3 that is there outside here. So you can maintain the -3, and then This one here, we can pull out, which is exactly x squared minus y to the fourth power in brackets like this. And then now we pulled out this one. So this one, because you pulled it out, you cross it out so that you can think clearly and then see what you are left with. Okay, you pulled this out, and then when you pull this out, it found -3 waiting outside. And then inside, you're going to be left with this one and this one, right? So you're going to be left with 9x to the 6th power. And then you're also going to be left with y squared minus 4, like so. Okay, good. And then we continue. Right, right. Okay, yeah, let me speak to Lerato. Lerato is looking for the past exams. Is it true, Lerato? Okay, good, good, good. Right, I'm sending right now. I'm sending right now. I'm sending right now. Okay, I'm sending now. Okay, I'm sending right now. Right, okay, in just the next minute. Okay, Paul, what do we do now? Because we got this, and then what is next? What do we do next? What do we do next?
I will
Uh-huh.
express the negative 3 times
Uh-huh.
squared, and then equals to negative 3x squared, and then negative
Uh-huh.
3
Uh-huh.
times y to the power of 4 equals to 3 to the power of 4. Open bracket, and then everything around. It is so of Urim x squared times 9 to the power of 3
Yes.
y to the power.
Good, good. You are really on point. So now there's something we call the difference of two squares that is going to come out here. So there's an x squared like this. Let's just write it as x squared. So we're going to write here x squared straight away. Going to write here x squared, and then here we're going to write y squared, and then we raise it to the square like this. And then because y squared is y to the fourth power, but now this is giving us a difference of two squares. And then we get to this point. This one, we must write it as a perfect square. But now we can write a 3 here, and we write, want to write it as a perfect square. We write this one as 3, we write this one as y, and we square everything. And this one is x squared like this. So that in the end, then is -3. And now you actually need to deal with this one here. And difference of two squares. Difference of two squares, then you just write x minus y squared, and then you write x plus y squared, like so. Right, so we deal with the difference of two squares in that fashion. And then we continue. We continue. Right, so we continue. Right, so now let us look at the next thing. Right, so we continue. And then now we're going to come to this one here. And then now this one, which is 3x cubed. And then you have y minus 2. And then you have 3x cubed y plus 2. Like so. Okay, let us see what this is gonna give us. And this is the final answer. So what is the final answer? This final answer can be written in so many, many ways, right? So we continue to deal with this one here. And this means the following. So it then means that you're gonna have -3 open bracket x minus y squared, and you have x, which is this one here, x plus y squared, and then we have open bracket 3x cubed y minus 2, And then here you put 3x cubed y plus 2. This question was very hectic, but very long. But it was prepared for the grade 10s in the year 2019 in June. We are preparing for the June exam, so we're trying to make sure that you know what is happening. So the couple of things you need to obviously take into account here. The notion of the difference of two squares came into play. What is the difference of two squares? What do you know about the difference of two squares? What do you know about the difference of two squares? Let's speak about the difference of two squares. Right. What is the formula for the difference of two squares? Let's talk about that one. So if you have the difference of two squares, what is the difference of two squares? So if you have like x squared minus y squared is equal to what? This one. What is this one?
Equals to x.
Uh-huh. It's equal to?
Equals to y. X.
What do you think?
X plus.
Okay.
X minus.
Like
Yeah.
that. So, but you can switch them around. You can start with the x plus y and then put the x minus y. Like it's the same thing. Okay. And then there's something we call the difference of two cubes. Difference of two cubes. The difference of two cubes, which is y cubed minus x cubed, is equal to what? This one.
Sorry.
Uh-huh.
X minus y.
X minus y, uh-huh.
And then x squared plus y squared.
Okay. So this becomes the difference of two cubes. Okay, now there's something we call the sum of two cubes. The sum of two cubes. Sum of two cubes. What do you know about the sum of two cubes? X cubed plus y cubed is equal to what? Sum of two cubes. So, yeah, what do you think, Paul, about this one? The sum of two cubes like x cubed plus y cubed is equal to what? Okay.
X minus y.
Okay, it becomes, it takes the sign here. If it's a plus here, it takes the plus. And then?
X to the power of 2 minus xy y squared.
Plus y squared. Well done, well done, well done, well done. So we are practicing. And that is the thing we're doing. And let us move on to the next question. This one was very long. We had to factorize a long expression. The examiner said factorize fully. Let us look at the next question. Question 2 in June 2019 was like this. But the question is saying solve for x. Solve for x. So we need to solve this one. What is the first step? So we need to solve for x. The examiner gave us x, open bracket, x minus 4 equals 12. Okay, what do we do here? How do we solve for x there?
Sorry, x times x equals to x squared.
X times x is x squared, okay?
And then x times negative 4 equals to negative 4x.
Good. X times negative 4 is negative 4x. Then what do we do next?
Equals to 12.
Equals 12. Equals 12. Then what do we do next after this, Simple?
O tlo kopantsha 1 more x squared to 1.
Okay, so so we have this x squared minus 4x, and then we can move the 12 to the other side, and the 12 attains a negative sign. Okay, so what do we do next?
O tlo re ke one more x squared ke one okay?
Yes, Q1, yeah?
Yeah, o tlo re negative 3x squared minus 12 equals negative 3x equals to 12.
Okay, so what do I write here now? What do I write here?
O ngola negative 3x squared
We want negative 3x squared
equals to 12.
equals 12.
And then o tlo ngola all over negative 3 both sides.
Okay. All right. We continue. Okay, yeah,
We
so
divide both sides by 8.
yes. Okay, but now at this point, if you have this, you can just put the brackets like this. The factors of x squared, because you must factorize this. What are the factors of x squared? X and x. The factors of minus 12 that give minus 4 are minus 6 and plus 2. Those are minus 6 and plus what? And plus 2. Okay, because now x times x will give us x squared. Minus 6 times 2 will give us minus 12. And then if you have minus 6 plus 2, it will give us minus 4. So now at this point, what do we do here? What do we do from these brackets? What do we do?
O tlo re negative 6 times 2.
Remember, we need to solve for x. We need to get the values of x. So what do we do?
Okay, so for one for that the way ke nahanang ka teng. Kore like re ngwale I can divide both sides ka negative 3 more negative 3x squared equals 12.
Okay.
And then negative 3 cancels negative 3. So tlo sala x squared equals to negative 4.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
then o tlo kenya square root ko x squared and then it will cancel o sale x equals
Okay,
to
yeah, I can imagine that there was a typo there, because if you have x squared minus 4x minus 12 equals 0, there are no like terms, right? There are no like terms, because this one is x squared and this is minus 4x. So we can't add this up. We can't add them up, right? Because they are unlike terms. They are unlike terms. Because they're unlike terms, then what we can do is we can find the factors of x squared. What are the factors of x squared? Factors of x squared.
o tlo ngola ka open bracket x and then go bracketing and x.
A. And then
Like
factors
the way you know.
A. Okay, so we can start and then say, okay, let's write the factors. Factors of x squared are x and x. And then the factors of minus 12, that give minus 4. What are they?
Negative 6 times 2. And then
Yes.
I think from them like
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so what do we do, Mpo?
O kenya like number e multiplyang e tlo etsang negative 12.
Yeah, A. Giving number here. Well, what number is that one? What do you think? Well, what numbers can we? Because now we need to put the factors of minus 12. We need to get more limo so that if we if we add them up, we get minus 4, right? So what are the numbers that we can put here
Kenya
and here? Yeah.
e tla ba
Uh-huh.
e tlo re fang negative 4 I guess.
A. It clarify negative 4, but the factors are minus 12. Okay. Right?
So,
Okay.
ga ke sure re ka kenya eng.
Okay, but we nagane akir. Okay. But if we Kenya minus 6 and plus 2, because what is minus 6 times 2?
Negative 12.
Yes. So minus 6 times 2 is minus 12. And then what is minus 6 plus 2? What is minus
Negative
6
4.
2? What is it?
Negative,
It's negative 4.
negative 4.
So the factors say the right, the correct. These factors are correct. Okay. If these factors are correct, then these are the same factors as these. So what do we do now from these factors? Because the question said solve for x. So the answer must be x is equal to something. So what do we do at that point? Because we must get the values of x. So what are the values of x? What are the values of x?
E tlo ba e
Uh-huh.
tlo ngola x equals to positive 6 or x equals to negative 2.
Well done. X equals positive 6 or x equals negative 2. Well done. You see, you're getting there. Slowly but surely, you're getting there. And we need to train you. We need to practice, practice, practice. So these are the answers. And therefore, we have solved for what? We have solved for x. We have solved for x. You get the point? Right, we have solved for x. And we continue right now to check more and more things. We continue right now to check more and more things. Right. Continue right now to check more and more stuff. And we have the following thing. The next question. Try 2.1.2. 2.1.2 is so big, but it's long. Right. 2.1.2. Try that one. Try that one, and then obviously you let me know there.
Ano pa kaya something like this.
I never let something like that, eh?
Abasoka ba re last week.
I hear you there because obviously, I mean, it is something that is very important. And many times the teachers might have not done something so complicated as 2.1.2, and therefore you need to learn that and understand it. Let's just take a look and make sure we're good. And make sure we're good. Make sure we're good. Right, so right, 1 to 2.1.2 and 2.1.2, we have the following. We have the following, right? So obviously, If you look very carefully at these, we have x minus 3 over this, and we need to solve for x there. And to solve for x there, we do the usual thing. And what do? We do the usual game like the Great Terns do. And now, to tackle this one, there are a couple of things we need to do. But what do we need to do? We need to factorize the denominators. So we start off with x minus 3, and we divide by 1 minus x squared. We have minus 2x plus 4. You divide by x plus 1. And this is minus twice x. You divide by x minus 1. This is x minus 3. We divide by and then now we need to deal with this because this one here is x plus 1. This is x minus 1. We need to reverse here the order of subtraction. And we're going to factor out a negative sign. And we have the negative here getting x squared minus 1 minus 2x plus 4 all divided by x plus 1. And this equals minus 2x over x minus 1. At this point, we need to factorize the x squared minus 1. What are the factors of x squared minus 1? What are the factors of x squared minus 1?
Open bracket. Over bracket 2.
Bracket
And
2.
then,
Okay, two pairs of,
yeah.
a pair of brackets. Yeah.
And then, the bracket e nngwe o tlo ngola x.
Tlo x. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, ebe o re plus 1
Plus 1.
minus 1.
Well done. Well done. Excellent stuff, Mpho. Into getting there. Then what do we do next here? What do we do next here? Right, so we continue. And what do we do next? Think about it, because I want you to get 100% in the exam. But for you to get 100% in the exam, I must like train you so that you are strong, so that you know everything, but you also understand what to do. So you need to think of the next step here. So what do we do now? Now that we've got these, what do we do? Right, so what do we do at this point? Yeah?
X plus 1 is finally e ka mo. It's finally denominator.
Denominator, yeah?
Oh,
Yes, yes. That's one, right?
and then
X plus 1, X
yeah,
plus 1
that's
there.
one.
Uh-huh.
And
Yes.
then the nngwe is finally X plus 1. So they are canceling.
Okay, yeah, that's perfect stuff. Perfect stuff. That's perfect stuff.
And then
So, yeah.
I just get to cancel. Utong wala 3 x minus 3
Okay.
minus 2x plus 4
Okay.
equals to negative 2x. And then
Yes.
ebongola x minus 3 minus
Yes.
2x plus 4
Yeah.
minus 2x plus 2x because we tlisa ka mo iba positive.
Yeah. Okay,
And
good.
then ebongola x minus 2x plus 2x minus 3 plus 4.
Yes.
And then ebo o reng
Mm-hmm.
1 mo x ke 1.
Yes.
O tlo re 1 minus 2
Yes.
plus 2 e tlo fa 1.
Yes.
And then o tlo ngola x. Ngola ke x squared or ke x?
Yefing, which one? This one.
Like how do you kopantsha? Ore x
Okay.
minus 2 plus 2.
Yeah. Okay, yes, obviously it is that. Okay, so what do we do first? We can take the LCD of this. We take the LCD of these things here. That's something we can do if we take the lowest common denominator. We can take the lowest common denominator. Okay, there are too many ways of doing this, but we can take the lowest common denominator here of the left. And therefore, you're going to have the lowest common denominator of the right. Okay, let's do that. It is the most popular strategy. So now we take minus x plus 1, x minus 1. Okay, so we take this lowest, we call it the lowest common denominator. We call it the lowest common denominator. It's called the LCD. Right, so we take this one divided by that. All this denominator divided by this denominator, we get a 1. 1 times x minus 3 with x minus 3. And we have this, all these denominator, we divide by x plus 1. And then if, in other words, you take all this, which is x plus 1, x minus 1, you divide by x plus 1, which is minus
X.
Yes.
X minus 1.
Yes. And then now you take this one because you're saying all these divided by all these divided by x plus 1. And then this one cancels if you divide and you get x minus 1, but there's a negative in front that you carry forward. And then you take this one now, you multiply by this. So negative times negative gives us a what? A positive. And then, yes, and then you have the 2x plus 4. And this 2x plus 4 you multiply by x minus 1. And then the right-hand side is only this. Here, it's only this. It's only this. Okay, so we continue. Right, so now at this point, we have this exactly.
And then x minus 1, it cancel x minus 1.
Yes, and x minus 1 to cancel x minus 1. So, but when you get to this point, what we recommend that is done is to cross multiply like this. So if you cross multiply like that, what you're then going to get is the following. So this x minus 1, it lower this side. And then this one, it lower the other side. Which means you're going to have x minus 3 plus 2x plus 4. And then x minus 1, if you cross multiply. So this one is going to have x minus 1 here. This is minus 2x. And you multiply this with that. Okay, you can just multiply straight away if you want. It's just multiply straight away. So if you multiply straight away, we do the following, right? So we're going to multiply this times this. So negative times negative is positive.
Positive.
2x, yes, it's positive. Then there's 2x, then it's going to be multiplied with this. So you're going to have x plus 1 and then x minus 1. Like so. Like so exactly. Right, and then at this point, what then do we do here? What
More
then, yes.
X minus 1 it cancel x minus 1 tse.
Yes, x minus 1 to cancel x minus 1 setting, right? Yes. So that is what you're going to have there. That is what you're gonna have.
Then Husala
Yes,
x minus 3 plus open
yes,
bracket 2x plus 4.
yes,
And then Ebeba plus koski positive 2x open bracket x plus 1.
yes. So we're gonna write x minus 3 plus 2x plus 4. And then we're gonna write x minus 1, this one here. And then we're gonna write in brackets here x minus 1. And then we're gonna write minus 2x. We have x plus 1, x minus 1 equals 0. Okay, at this point, we moved all these to one side of the equation. So it was 2x and then it became minus now. But we're able to see x minus 1, x minus 1. It's a common factor, this x minus 1. There's x minus 1 here outside the brackets, and there's also x minus 1. So this x minus 1, we can take it out as a common factor, and then we get x minus 3 plus 2x plus 4, x minus 1. And then here, you have minus 2x, and then there's x plus 1 equals 0. So we have taken out the x minus 1 as a common factor. Right. So when we take it out as a common factor, this is what we are able to achieve at this point. And now when you get to this, so we have this times this equals 0, which means we have x equals 1, or we come to this whole thing now, which is exactly x minus 3 plus 2x plus 4, like this. And we have x minus 1, we have minus 2x, we have x plus 1 equals 0. So now, then we get to this. We get to this. At this point, you have x minus 3, which is the x minus 3 here. Right? And then if you have this, let's continue. Then we have 2x times x, which is 2x squared. 2x times x. 2x times minus 1, minus 2x. 4 by x, 4x. And 4 by minus 1 is minus 4. Then you have minus 2x times x. What is minus 2x times x? It's minus 2x squared. Minus 2x times 1 is minus 2x. The result is 0. So 2x squared minus 2x squared will give us 0. And then we check.
And then 2x, negative 2x cancels negative 2x.
Okay, let's check that one. Negative 2x and negative 2x, what do they give us? Okay, because they are both negative. Okay, okay. We can group like terms. Let's group like terms. Let us collect like terms. So there's x, then there's minus 2x, we dealt with x. We're done with x, then there's minus 2x, we dealt with it. Then we are dealing with 4x. And then we are dealing with minus 2x. And then now we're left with minus 3. And then
The minus 4.
the minus 4. Well done. Equals 0. Then what do we do now here? What is x minus 2x plus 4x minus 2x? What's the answer there? X minus 2x plus 4x minus 2x. What's the answer?
X.
X. Well done. X, right? And then what is minus 3 minus 4?
Re ketse so.
Mm-hmm.
Ke -7.
-7. And then at this point, if it is -7, then we must solve for x. Then x is equal to what? Here.
X equals to +7.
X equals +7. X equals what? +7.
+7.
And that's the answer.
Yo, itelle.
You see, it's very long, right? It's very long. It started here, and then went to this, and then went to this, and then we ended here. But the answer is 7. So to this 2.1.2, we went everything, but the answer is 7. But we also got here, we also got x equals 1. But this x equals 1 is not valid because in the denominator, if you put 1 here, 1 minus 1 is going to become what? It's going to become 0. So we have division by 0. So you must say that x is not equal to 1. So the only answer is x equal to 7. Even here, if you put 1 in the place of x, so you'd have 1 minus x squared. What is 1 in the place of x squared? In the place of the x, you put 1. So you're going to have like 1 minus 1 squared. 1 minus 1. What is 1 minus 1? Is 0. Right. So is 0. And then that means, therefore, that you have 0 in the denominator, which is not acceptable. We don't divide by 0. Division by 0 is undefined. So that is something that you need to take note of. And then we proceed to look at the next question. Okay, I'm going to send you the video so you can like replay this and watch again and make sure that you understand everything. Okay, so let us move to the next question. Let us move to the next question. Right, so we're doing right now 2.1.3. 2.1.3, they gave 2 to the power x minus 2 to the power x minus 1 equals 4. So what do we do here? What do we do here? We need to solve for x. Yeah.
Minus 2 to the power of 0 equals
Yeah.
to 4.
Yeah.
And then I get 2 to the power of 0.
Yes.
1.
Yes, to
And
the
then
power of 0 1. Uh-huh.
It's about 2x minus 1 equals to 4.
Yes.
Then
So we can separate these ones. We can separate these ones. Like this. Always. Always. Because this one is 2 to the power x minus 1, so we break it into 2. 2 to the power x and then 2 to the power minus 1. And then what do we do now? Here. After doing this, what do we do next? So we must do something else. So what do we do next? Right. So what is there a common factor there? Is there a common factor there? What is the common factor there?
2.
Is it only 2, the common factor here?
2 x.
2 to the power x, right? And then if 2 to the power x is a common factor, and then if we pull it out, we think so we can cross it out like this. Then you're left with what? You're left with this. Like that. You get the point?
Yeah.
So now, what do we do now? Because we took out the common factor. Then what do we do? Because we need to solve for x at the end, you know? So we must do something at this point. So what do we do?
Okay, Siri.
2
to the power of x times 1 equal to 2. And then it will be 2 times 2 to the power of -1 equal to 1 happy.
Yeah.
o tlo re re ke so 2 times -2 to the power of -1.
Yeah.
-1 equals, yeah, ke 2x hodimo equals to 4, and then o reng 2x equals to 4 plus 1.
Can we add the things within the brackets? So within the brackets, there's 1 minus there's 1 minus what? 1 minus 2 to the power minus 1. So what can we do within the brackets? What do we do?
One minus 2 to the power of -1.
Yes. What is it?
Eba 1/2.
Simplify. Eba 1/2, right? Good. So this one is going to be 2 to the power x. Then this one is going to be 1/2 equals 4. Then what do we do now at this point? So what is 1 minus 1/2? Like, what is 1 minus 1/2? What do we get? What is 1 minus 1/2?
1/2.
So in other words, from one loaf of bread, if from a loaf of bread we remove half, we're left with what? We're left with half. Then what do we do next? What do we do next?
2x times 1/2
Yes, 2x times 1/2. Yeah.
equals to 1 to the power of x.
Oh, okay. I get what you're thinking there. So this one, you can just multiply this point. You can imagine this one is over 1, like this. So that in the end, you multiply 2 to the power of x times 1, which is 2 to the power of x, divided by 1 times 2 equals what? 2, which is 4, like this. Then when you get to this point, this is like over 1. And then
you cross multiply.
you cross multiply. Well done. You cross multiply. Then it's going to be 1 times 2 to the power of x. And 1 times 2 to the power of x is just 2 to the power of x. And then 2 times 4 is equal to what? It's equal to 8.
2 times 4.
Yes, if you cross multiply. Yes, 2 times 4 is 8, right?
Mm.
And then what do we do now? Because if you have 2 to the power of x is equal to 8, then what does this become?
We divide both sides by 2.
Okay, we can imagine that. But what we do is we must make the bases the same, because the base is 2 here. So 8 can
Then
be
to the power of 2 to the 2 to the power of 2 to 4, and then 2 to the power of 8.
Well done. So it's going to be 2 to the power of 3. Then at this point, the bases are the same. The bases are what? Are the same. So if the bases are the same, we equate the exponents, which means that x is equal to what? X is equal to 3. If the bases are the same, we equate the indices, meaning x is equal to 3. So the answer to this long question, this one here, we started here, went through here, is x equal to 3. The answer is x equals 3, like that, you know? So any question about that one, or anything you don't understand, anything you'd like us to add, anything you would like us to remove, any suggestion? It's fine. Good. Let's look at the next one. Right, here's the next one. In this question, We need to deal with solving for x. Let us solve for x in this question. Let us solve for x in this question. So to solve for x, what do we do here? To solve for x, what do we do here? What do we do to solve for x?
I thought that I solved it.
I never I solve for SO, right? Okay, so if you have, for example, minus 2, so we're doing 2.2.1. So you have minus 2 is less or equal to minus 2x minus 1 is less than 3. So what do we do here? So you can write it here. Minus 2 is less or equal to minus 2x minus 1 is less than 3. So what do we do?
Negative 2 minus 2x minus 1.
Yes. So now we need to deal with this one, but we need to solve it very carefully. And one way to solve it very carefully is to first remove the constant term. So now we need to remove minus 1. So to remove minus 1, we add 1 here. And we have this one. You also add 1 here. You have this one. You also add 1 there. So you add 1 like that. So because if you want to remove minus 1, you add plus 1. You plus 1 to remove minus 1. Because what is minus 1 plus 1? What's the answer? Minus 1 plus 1 is what?
0.
0. It's 0, right? And then 3 plus 1 is what?
4.
It's a 4. Well done. And then minus 2 plus 1 is what? It's a minus 1. Okay? So now, when you get to that point, you have the following. When you get to that point, you then have the following. Right. Right. So we continue. What do we do now? Okay, now we want to solve for x because the question is saying do what? Solve for x. So to solve for x now, we're just left with this minus 2 because if you can just remove this minus 2, then you're going to be having what? The correct value of x. So which means that you have minus 1, you divide by minus 2. And then you have minus 2x, you divide by minus
Divided by 2.
Yes, you have 4, you also divide by negative 2. But if you divide by a negative number, then equality must change direction. Because it is less than, it becomes greater than or equal to. It becomes greater than like this. At which point, here you have 1/2 is greater than or equal to. What is negative 2 divided by negative 2?
Yeah, cancel.
Yeah, cancel on. And this is the answer we get. And this is the answer we get, and then we are done. We are what? We are done. We're exactly
Final answer.
a final answer. So you see, here they said that you need to solve for x. So we have solved for x, and the solution for x is 1/2 is greater or equal to x greater than minus 2. So this becomes the answer. It becomes the answer. Right, so we continue. We continue. We continue. Right, so obviously to continue now, we look at the next question. The next question is 2.2.2. Rewrite your answer using interval notation. How do you use interval notation there? Rewrite your answer using interval notation. What is interval notation? Okay, right. So we need to use interval notation. Okay, because this one is called an inequality. But now we can use the interval notation. So in June, they're going to ask you about the interval notation. They're going to say, rewrite your answer using the interval notation. Let's look at 2.2. Right, in 2.2, you need the interval notation. Here you have 1/2. We already got the answer. And the answer to 2.2.1 is actually 1/2 greater or equal to x greater than -2 strictly. Greater or equal to x greater than -2 strictly. So this is the value of x. So yeah. So we continue right now. So how do you use the interval notation right now? How do you use the interval notation right now here? Right, so to use the interval notation, we then have the following thing. We then have the following thing. So, yeah, you said you have not been taught the interval notation. Is it correct?
Yeah.
Right, you've not been taught the interval notation, but now we can analyze the interval notation ourselves. And the interval notation means that at this point, you're going to say x is an element of an interval. So you look at the fact that you start from the smallest one, because now you can write this one like this, or you can write it like -2 is less than x, less or equal to 1/2. So at this point, you then have -2 is an element of this. Now, because at this point, the inequalities are facing this way, so it means that -2 is the smallest one. And this one is less or equal to, so this -1/2 is greater because it's facing the open side of this equality, so it's greater. So in the end, you have that x is therefore an element of the interval from -2. But at -2, you put a round bracket, but here, because this one is less or equal to, you put a square bracket, like that. Do you see that?
Yeah.
So this one is called, what do you call it? We call it the interval what? We call it the interval notation. Interval. This is called an interval. This is called an interval. This when this is called an inequality. Okay, right. So the next question is illustrate your answer on the number line. How to illustrate your answer on a number line? So this one, x is an element of the interval. You have -2 and you have up to 1/2. Right, so that is exactly what we have. And this is the interval. It's because we're using the interval notation. So how do you illustrate your answer on a number line? How do you illustrate this on a number line, Paul? You must draw a number line. What do we do to draw the number line? How do we start?
Number line how o draw is like white draw a line, and then it will
So we draw a
negative
number line like this, and then Rikenya, -2, and then Rikenya, 1/2.
2, yeah. And then how we kopantsha
Yes.
o re o etsa di-dot tse 2 ko di-line-eng tse
Okay.
bontshang gore ke 1/2.
So now,
And then wa di kopantsha.
Then that coupons, right? That coupons, we put them together. We connect them together like this. And then we must shade somewhere, and somewhere we must leave an open circle. So what do we do now? Somewhere we must shade. Somewhere we must leave an open circle. So where do we shade now?
Ko -2.
Okay, that's fine. We shade where there is a square bracket. Where there is a square bracket. Because now when we have -2 is less than x, less or equal to 1/2. Where there is less or equal to or greater or equal to, we shade. We shade like that. Okay, and then at -2, because there's a round bracket like this, and at -2 it's only less than, so we put an open circle like that, and it remains open. It's said to be open, so because we did not shade inside, so it's always like that. Okay, then we go to the next question. The next question is obvious, and this is 2.3, and in 2.3 they're saying the sum of the squares of two consecutive natural numbers is 85. Determine the numbers. So what do you do in 2.3? What do you do in 2.3? How do you solve 2.3?
Question is the two sum of
Yeah.
I think
Okay, please read it again and make sure you understand it.
so like rona so re leng ra e etsa ke number line le e like our calculator XA
Yeah.
azang ba retsisa yona.
Okay. Abazange banelisa in. So you did not do this one in class.
Ra etsa.
Oh, all right. Okay. So this one is called, we call this one a word problem. We call it a word problem because they've given you words and they want you to do mathematics to convert these words to mathematics, to an equation. This one. So where do you start? So if they say the sum of the two consecutive natural numbers is 85, it then means a couple of things. So now to solve this question, you proceed as follows. Right, so you need to start. We need to start by saying, because the sum of two consecutive natural numbers is 85. So you need to start and say, let x be equal to, let x be equal to the first number. Let x be equal to the first number. Right, so because this is a sum of two consecutive, what does consecutive mean? What does the word consecutive mean? What does consecutive mean? Consecutive means that they follow each other. So if the one number is 2, the other one is going to be 3. If it's 3, the other one is going to be 4. Then 3 and 4 are consecutive. And then if it is 4, it's going to be 5. And then 4 and 5 are what? Are consecutive. So now if the first number is x, then the consecutive number, the next number is going to be just x plus 1. So x plus 1 becomes the second number. So you must, I'm recording this video, so you're gonna have a chance to watch this again. I'm gonna post it on the WhatsApp group, okay? Right, so the sum of the squares of two consecutive, so you are finding the sum. What is the sum? If they say the sum of the squares, what is the sum? What is the difference between a sum and a product? What is the difference between a sum and a what? And a product?
Some I see like example something like let's say 2 plus 6 over
Sum key result after addition. So this is a sum because sum, now the sum of 2 and 3 is 5. 5 is called the sum of 2 and 3. So now, and sum means that result after what? After addition. Sum means result after what? After addition. So here they're saying the sum of the squares. So the squares means that you're going to take x squared. And then now you also take the square of x and then the square of x plus 1. Right? So you take the square of x and then the square of x plus 1. And then the sum of the squares of two natural numbers is 85. It is what? 85. It is what? 85.
Okay, so
Yes?
x plus 1 it's okay.
X plus 1 is okay. Because they said that you are dealing with two consecutive natural numbers. The natural numbers are what? Are consecutive. Consecutive means that if the first number is 4, then to get the next one, you must add 1 to 4. 4 plus 1 is equal to 5. If this number is 3, how do you get the next one after 3? The next natural number after 3. You must add 1 to 3 to get what? 4. And then if we give you 2 and we're saying get the next number after 2, the next natural number after 2, you add what? You add 1. And 2 plus 1 equals what? Equals 3. So if we start with x, the next one is going to be x plus 1. You just add 1 always to get the next number. Because if they use the word consecutive natural numbers, it means that if the first one is x, then the next one, to get the next one, you must say plus 1. Because if it is 2, the next one is 2 plus 1. 2 plus 1 is equal to what? 3. And indeed, now, if one number is the first natural number is 2, then the next one is 3. How did you get 3? Is the next number. You add 1. You add a 1 go 2 to get 3. And then if we tell you that 3 is one natural number, then get the next natural number after 3 that is bigger than 3. What do you do? Then you take 3 and then you add a 1. And then 3 plus 1, you add 4. You get a 4. And it means, therefore, you must add 1 to 3 to get 4. So that indeed, we know that if one natural number is 3, the next one is what? Is 4.
Oh.
So if we start with x, x is a general number. So to get the next one after x, you must add what? You must add 1. So it becomes x plus 1. Yeah?
Okay.
Yes?
Like, okay, let y equals to 1. It's like you do like x.
But I do really x.
Okay.
But like I do really x. So recompensate, right? If we given 3, the next one after 3 is 4. Recommended 1 4. We add a 1 for 3. So so now it becomes 3 plus 1. So 1 n idulali recompensate 3. So idulali 3. It's like 3 plus 1. And so here we also write x plus 1. Okay. Next. So we then have x squared. Now let's square this one. What is x plus 1 squared? X plus 1 squared, you're going to write x squared. Then the next thing is x times 1. What is x times 1?
1 times 1, 1.
Yeah, x times 1. Yeah, x times 1.
X.
X times 2. What is x times 2?
2x.
2x. Then 1 squared. What is x squared plus x squared? Yes.
P2.
P2. Yes. And then this is what you get. And then you move the 85 to the other side. Because there's 85, then if you bring it to the other side, it becomes what? Negative. And then at this point, you have 2x squared plus 2x. You have x squared plus what? You have x squared plus 2x. What is 1 minus 85?
Negative 84.
Negative 84. Good. And then at this point, we have got 2x squared plus 2x minus 84 equals 0. But shall we simplify? We simplify as well. That common factor or divide ka 2 if you buy divide ka 2.
Both sides more 2x squared
Yes.
divided by 2 plus 2x divided by 2.
So yes, so we can take the 2x squared and then we take 2x squared, we divide by 2 plus 2x, we divide by 2 minus 84, you divide by 2. You also divide everything, divide by 2, divide by 2, divide by 2, divide by 2. Okay? So if you divide everything by 2, then here it's going to be x squared plus x minus 42 equals 0. What is x squared? X and x. What are the factors of 42 that give 1? Factors of 42 that give 1. Two numbers. The two numbers, when you multiply them, you get minus 42. But when you add them, you get 1. What are those numbers? What are those factors?
I guess sure what.
Okay. Those factors are exactly 6 and 7. 6 and 7. Right, because if you actually multiply this, so you have minus 6 plus 7. Because 6 times 7, negative 6 times 7 is negative 42. But when you add this up, 7 minus 6 give 1. So these are the correct factors at this point. And then now we continue to solve this problem. So if we continue now to this point, which means x is what? X is 6, so x is minus 7. X is 6, so x is minus 7. Right, x is 6, so x is minus 7. Okay, so x is 6, so x is minus 7. So at this point, because these are natural numbers, they are what? Natural numbers. Natural numbers are not negative. Here, this one says x is equal to minus 7. So the only correct answer can only be x equal to 6. Because the natural numbers are positive there. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's look at the next question. Let's look at the next question. So the next question is 3.1. Consider the general term, this one. Write down the first two terms of the sequence. Let's write down the first two terms. Write down the first two terms, we get T1. What is T1 from this? So wherever there is n, you put 1. So it becomes 3 times 1. Then what is the answer here? And then here we're getting the first two terms. So we get 2. 1 over 3 times 2 plus 1. What is 3 times 1 plus 1?
3 times 1 plus 1. 4.
4. And then 3 times 2 plus 1 is equal to what? 3 times 2 plus 1 is equal to what? It's equal to what?
7.
It's equal to 7. Well done. So they're saying write down the first two terms. So the first term get T1 equals 1/4. And then the next term is T2 is equal to 1/7. All together. That is the answer. Okay, let's look at 3.2.
Ish.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay, yes, because this one is going to appear in the exam. Okay, because we're preparing for the June exam now. So that at least you're better off. But even during the week, we're going to have like lots of like discussions. Okay. So, yeah, good. And then the next question is determine. Okay. Because now the 3.2 says determine which term in the sequence has a value of 1 over 325. Because I'm going to send you this video. So you're going to like see these things again. All together. Okay. All right. Right, we continue. We continue. We continue, Paul, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So the next thing is now we're looking at 3.2. Determine which term in the sequence has the value of 1 over 325. So which term of the sequence? So there is a term that is equal to 1 over 325. There is a term Tn that has the value, this one, 1 over 325. So Tn here is equal to what? Is 1 over 3n plus 1, which is 1 over 325 like this. Okay, then we need to solve for n. So we cross multiply. What do we do here? We cross multiply. So we're going to have 325 times 1, or 1 times 325. What is 1 times 325? It is exactly
25.
right, equals. Then what is 3n plus 1 times 1? What do you get? You get the 3n plus 1 like that. Okay, then at this point, you have 325 minus 1, which is 3n. So we bring the 1 to the other side. What is 325 minus 1? It is 324. And we continue to this point. So if we have 324 equals 3n, you divide the left by 3 and the right by 3. So what is 324 divided by 3?
324 divided by 108.
108. Well done. So the answer is actually 108. Right. So we've got exactly the answer there, which is exactly 108. So we continue now to tackle the next question. So because they're saying which term in the, determine which term in the sequence has the value of that. So that means that the value of the term is 10 what? Is 108. The term is n equal to 108. Okay, let's look at the next thing. Sketched below are the graphs of these, that, and that. A and B are the x-intercepts, and C is the turning point of G. C is the turning point of what? Of G. B is the x-intercept, and C is the y-intercept, right, of F. A is the x-intercept, and D is the y-intercept. Right, determine the equation of G. Let us find the equation of G. G is this one. How do you find the equation of G? G is the parabola, right? So how do you find the equation of the parabola? Right, so to find the equation of the parabola, there are a couple of things that you need to do. You need to find the coordinates of B, the x-intercept. Right, so if you find the x-intercept of F, what you find, how do you find the x? You let y be equal to 0. If y equal to 0, it is exactly this in this particular equation. Right, so if y is 0, you have this. So which means that 2x equals 4, and then you divide the left by 2 and the right by 2, giving us x equals what? X equals 2. And that would mean that for the coordinates of the point B here are 2 and what? Are exactly 2 and 0. Because we're finding the x-intercept of this of the line. And then also now you have the y-intercept of the line. This one, the y-intercept of the line. So if you are to find the y-intercept, you let x be 0. Obviously, you have been given f of x equals 2x minus 4. When x is 0, which means you have f of 0 is 2 times this. So which means f of 0 is minus 4. So which means therefore when x is 0, means that when x is 0, y is minus 4. That gives us the coordinates of this point, which is 0 minus 4. Then we want to find the equation now of these, right? So to find the equation, we start as follows, right? They want to find the equation of G. So which means that G of x is ax squared minus q. The q is the y-intercept of the parabola, which means that at this point, you have ax squared. What is the y-intercept? This is cutting at y equals -4, which means you're gonna put what? You're gonna put -4 here because it is -4 that you get over there. Okay, so yeah, that is something that you take note of. But obviously, this you need to find the value of a. To find the value of a, you need to find one point through which it passes. So this graph passes through. So you write through B with the coordinates 2 and what? And 0, which means you have x and y. So you put y equals 0 here. The x is 2. You square this -4, which means 4 is equal to 4a. And then at this point, you then say 4 equals 4a. You divide by 4, you divide by 4, which means that 1 is equal to a is equal to 1. Right, and once you get that a is equal to 1, you have the equation of g, which means g of x is equal to, in the place of a here, you put 1, so it becomes x squared minus 4, and this is the equation of g. Okay, you might have not done this one, but yeah, we're about to conclude our lesson, so I'm trying to move and cover a bit more things now. Okay, so this is what we have. So this is the equation of g. This is recorded, so I'm gonna send you the video. Okay, right. Now the next thing, because we must stop at 8, and I know that it's just 1 minute after 8 right now. Right, so the equation of g, we've already seen that the equation of g is exactly what? The equation of g is exactly x squared minus 4. Show that the equation of h is given by this. Right, so to show that the equation of h is given by this, now h is this line here. And now you need to consider a couple of things. So h passes through a couple of points, right? So it passes through the point A, and the point A is the x-intercept, right? So if it passes, so we need, okay, if it is given that CD, you have been given that CD is how many units? Is 5 units, but it passes through A, this line H. So if it passes through A, then you have the x-intercept there. Right, so the x-intercept for the G, x-intercept of G. The x-intercept of G, how do you get that? You let y be equal to 0 in G, which means that you have x squared minus 4 equals 0, which means x squared equals this, which means it is exactly this. Okay, yeah. Then, okay, you put plus or minus like this, and then x is going to be plus or minus 2. Is going to be plus or minus 2. So that here you have minus 2, and then this one is 2 and 0. So the coordinates of A are minus 2 and 0. And then to show that the equation of H is this, if the length of CD is 5 units, right? So you already know this one here because of this equation is 0 together with minus 4. And if this is 5 units, what are the coordinates here of D? Because this one is 4 units here. We have 4 units, and if this is 5 units, then D must have the coordinates 0 and 1. Must have the coordinates 0 and 1. So that in the end, then, to find the equation of the line, you must find the gradient of the line. So you'll have to find the gradient of CD, which is change in y, change in x, which is exactly y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1, okay? So now this one is x1, y1, and this one is x2, y2. What is y2? 1. y1, 0. x2, 0. x1 is minus 2. And therefore, this is 1/2. This is 1/2. So that then in the end, what you're having is you realize that this line here passes through 2 points. So it passes through, right? It passes through, the line passes through these 2 points. You can take 0 and 1. which is the point D. So you're gonna take 0 and 1, which is the point D. Right, so, and the equation or the formula finding the equation of a line is m into x minus x1, like that. Which means that you'd have y minus, so this one is x1, y1. So you have y minus 1, the slope is 1/2 x minus 0. Right, so what you're then getting here is y equals 1/2 x plus 1. 1/2 x plus what? 1/2 x plus 1. So that is what you're getting, 1/2 x plus 1. Because we have to show that the equation of h is this one. Right, so in the end, then it means that you can then say h of x is 1/2 x plus 1. Then now the next thing is you continue to write down the range of G. Just look at 4.4, the range of G. If G is this one, the parabola, and here it's -4, what do you know about the range? It's a set of the y values, right? So the y values at this point, what then? Okay, but first, before we find the range, we must do 4.3. We must determine the coordinates of E, the point of intersection of the functions f and h. So we know that f of x is 2x minus 4 and h is this, okay? And so now you equate them, which means that, so at this point, we have 2x minus half x, which is 4 plus 1. What is half? What is 2x minus half x? What is 2x minus half? Is 3x over 2. 4 plus 1 is a 5. Okay, I'm trying to finish off here because our time is up. And yeah. So to get the answer here right now, you cross multiply this. 3x times 1 is 3x equals 2 times 5 is a 10. You divide by 3 so that x is equal to 10 over 3. Okay, so this gives us the actual numerical value of x at the point of intersection. And once you get the numerical value of x, you must use one of the equations to get the value of y. So we're going to use this one. So you need to find f of, okay, what do we know? We can start here. Okay, this equation of f of x is given in the exam, so let's just use it. So we have f of x equals 2x minus 4. These are like simultaneous equations. To find the point of intersection is like simultaneous equations. You get x and then you must also get y. Right, so which means that our x is 10/3. And this is 2 10 over 3 minus 4. What is 2 times 10? 20 over 3 minus 4. What is 3 times minus 4? Is minus 12 over 3. And 20 minus 12 is what? Is 8 over 3. What are the coordinates of E? The coordinates of E, the point of intersection, you want x first and then you want a y. You start with x. X is 10 over 3. We got it here. And then the y is exactly what? 8.
-8 over 3.
Yes, it's exactly.
Oh, 8 over 3.
Yeah, it's exactly 8 over 3 there. Right. So, and those are the coordinates of E, where you start with 10 over 3, and then you have 8 over 3 over there. Good. Then the next thing is we want to find the range of G. Right, in 4.4, the examiner says find the range of G. If you know that this one cuts at -4, what is the range of G? The range of G means that you need to look at all the values of y through which this passes. So it is exactly here and it goes up like this, which means y is from -4 upwards. How do you say -4 upwards? You say greater or equal to -4. So you start from -4 upwards, you say greater or equal to -4. If you use an inequality, or you use the interval notation. What is the interval notation? You can use an interval, like so you say y is an element. So when you write the interval, you start from the smallest one and it goes up. Up is like it goes to plus infinity all the way up, very far. So now it means then you're going to start from -4 like this, and then proceed to what? Proceed to infinity like that. Okay, so that is the thing you have. And then now this one is going to give us the range, the set of the y values. Then in 4.5, they're saying for which values of x is f of x bigger than g of x? For which values of x is f of x greater than what? F of x greater or equal to g of x. Okay, so we look at that question. So in 4.5, for which values of x is f of x bigger or above g? F above g. So here is f. Where is f above g? G is the parabola. Where is f above g there? If g is this one here, the parabola, and then f is this one here, where is f above g? Right. So you're able to see that f is above g here, because g is below here and f is above. When you get to this point, f is below and g is above. When you are here, you're able to see that g is above and f is below. Okay, so where is this the case? So we're looking for where f is greater or equal to g. Okay, I'm trying to finish this paper now because we're 11 minutes beyond time. So, right, we know the coordinates of b are 2 and 0. And we need to start from here where x is 0 to 2. So for which values of x is f above g? So f is above g from this 0 to x equals 2. So which means that you start from 0 to 2 and x lies between these things here. Okay, so now the answer to 4.5 is x lies between 0 and 2, like that. Okay, or you can say x is an element of the interval from 0 to 2, from 0 to 2, like that. Okay, so we've got the result, and we've solved this this question. It is the end of the paper. In our next meeting, we shall look at the Gauteng paper written as mathematics paper 2 in 2019 by the grade 10s. We shall look at paper 2 in our next meeting. But for today, thanks a lot for joining us. It was awesome having a discussion with you. I'm going to make the video available after 10 at night. And yeah, thanks for joining us and have a good night. And from us, goodbye to you. Goodbye.